So in terms of your settings, what should you go for, and naturally what's the best ones to go with? So I'm going to show you what I've done. I've reset everything because I've realized I needed to do the video. So if we go into the settings, you can actually do this in Ultimate Team now, which is even better, but I want to do it on the main menu so it goes across everything. So in terms of settings then, so if we go into the game ones, we'll basically be presented with all of this to start with. So the gameplay in itself, competitive. Easiest way to do, especially if you're playing Ultimate Team Online, it will be competitive. You can have obviously the custom as well, but you want to make sure you've got it on competitive to start with, and then obviously you want to go from there. Then the shooting, I personally go with precision. It's it's just one of them that is naturally from last year. Basically what this is wherever I shoot, that's where you go. That's where the shot's going to go. So you'll find a lot of people will be utilizing that, but that was from last year as well. When it comes to the rest here, you've obviously got semi, assisted. That's just standard. Obviously, pass receive a lot normal, and then you've obviously got the precision pass is fine. The clearance, now the one thing is this should be directional always, but just in case it's on classic, it's very much like the shooting. Wherever you clear it, if it's on directional, is the zone. If you have it on classic, it basically means he will just oof it wherever the animation goes. At least with the directional, if I'm hitting left, it will go left. If I try and go behind me on a 360 clearance, he'll try it. He might not get it, but he'll try it. So directional is the way to go with that one. We then have got the defending. Personally, it's just advanced for me. Again, some people do like the tactical. I personally go with that. Professional fouls on standard. You've also got this one. This is another one that you've obviously got on air balls and lobs, crosses and loose balls. So this is basically just where you auto switch. So you've got your manual, so it's always switching. The problem with that is if the ball's being lobbed over, you're going to have to manually change, and sometimes it could be 4 players ahead of you. So you will be switching quite a lot, which is valuable time in the time of the kind of end game of champs, of rivals. So you want to definitely go with kind of them. You've got only on loose balls, which again is fine, but I personally go with lobs, crosses and loose balls anyway, as it's naturally the best way for me. Don't go automatic with this one. We then auto switching move 6. I'm not going to bother. We then also have the right stick, which is going to be player rotation, classic and adaptation. So holding R for long will switch to more distant players as you release it. So again, it's fine. Like, you can obviously go for that. It's pretty much the same as classic, so that is what I personally go with. You then also have player relative or ball relative. I normally go with player, to be honest, when it comes to it, but you could potentially go with the ball. So basically the ball acts as the center point of the reference of any right stick. So you could go with player, which is obviously going to be if I've got the ball in the middle of the, or they've got the ball in the middle of the field, I then am on like the right mid. I could then switch it to inside. Personally, did I say player? I meant ball. So I go with the ball because you could be, again, like the ones in the air, you could be 3 players above where the ball is. So I personally like to be able to switch straight to a guy in front or 2 guys behind him a lot quicker. The switch sensitivity, it's just 4. I haven't really changed that at all in any game. We have next player switching on classic, and then pretty much everything else. Player lock, you definitely want to try. You don't have to use it, but it's there if obviously you want to potentially go into it. I will be doing a video on the second channel on how to do all of that just in general. Now in terms of match, that's pretty much written off because if you're online, it doesn't change. So the next thing is going to be your camera. And then we've also got some visuals that we'll go through. Now, when you've got this, you've obviously got the Ultimate Team competitive camera. This is the new competitive camera exclusive to Ultimate Team. This camera is only available in the Ultimate Team stadiums and not any others. Personally, I just don't have that on. I like the standard. Personally, as you can see, I've already got it on the co-op. That is where I go. And then everything else is fine, and then I will go for the custom. So I normally go max height, minimum zoom in. So basically it just means I'm really high above so I can see the whole pitch. That's personally what I like when it comes to playing it. It's been the one I've used for the past 6 or 7 years, so that will not change. So that's kind of what I go for them. Then the only other thing that you can turn off if you're finding a bit of lag, if you're finding sometimes it's just a bit of an annoyance, you can turn off the hypermotion insight. For me, I'm not too fussed about it either. It just kind of brings up kind of shot chances, percentages, how many shots you've had, misses. It's one big thing that is was turned off last year. So that for me is just what I've gone for just in general. Then the only other thing you've got is potentially going for this, which is going to be your play style plus icon. So this again, you can obviously have it all on or off. For me personally, because I know my playstyle pluses and because I know my skill moves and weak foots, I don't really go for this on. It's just not necessarily my thing. Even the tactical suggestions, you've obviously got then the tactical chalkboard. So choose if you want the chalkboard displayed when making tactical changes during the gameplay. Again, I don't really have all this on, especially if you're on PC. This could just lag it out a little bit, and I'd just prefer not to, in my opinion. So I've kind of just gone with that. So again, even then, you've got the score, clock down, drop down. I will have that off really. Normally, it all depends on what you want. If you're finding that it's lagging a little bit, I do try to. I do keep the Playstyle Plus on. Again, yes, you could potentially go with the objective notification. Just if you are doing something in a squad battle match, it will pop up when it's done, which is fine. You then also got the enabled overhead and also the bottom. A lot of people can just go for one or the other. Personally, I do go both just because if I'm doing a review, if I'm doing something where I'm talking about a play, I will have it on. But naturally, I would normally just go with it just on the bottom left. That's really all I'd go with. And again, you can obviously go with the number. You can go with the name. I personally would go with the name in my opinion anyway. And that is pretty much everything that you've got going on. Sometimes I turn this off or on, but at the minute, whilst I'm getting used to some people, I will keep it on and then probably change it later on down the line. And at the minute, that's all my settings. Let me know if you've got any different ones that you'd like to share with me, and I'll catch you all for that next one. Peace.